All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode two of Mike's Music Corner. Um, for those who don't know, this show is about really understanding the meaning behind music and people's projects. And last week on Honest Hour, I had the honor of meeting this brother for the first time and having him on the Honest Hour. We chopped it up. He has returned to talk about his EP, Killer Volume 1, Kellz Turner. How you feeling today, my brother? Appreciate you coming back to grace the stage with me on this evening.
Yeah, man, I'm blessed to be here. Just thank you for just thank you. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, bro.
Absolutely. We're all we got. That's what I always tell people. We're all we got. And, if we're not looking out for one another and trying to help one another and grow and be better than we were yesterday, what are we doing? We're not doing anything. We're just staying stagnant in this, how can I put it? We're staying stagnant. We get complacent with staying where we are instead of trying to elevate one another and ourselves, you know? So,
Exactly.
but we're here today. This isn't exactly an interview. It's just more of a discussion. There are questions, but I'm just gonna give you the breakdown. Like I started doing these music reviews, and I don't do enough of them. I just give my idea albums, or songs, and people took a liking to them. So I thought, okay, I can make a show around this. It's not, I like music. I love music. Like, that's a hobby, which is why I have about 8 pairs of headphones. Um, you know, so that's the basis of this. And when I listened, when I heard the first track even to this, you know like it's kind of like it kind of like made me turn my head like, oh, this dude's rapping like he's about that. Like he's about that, and there was a purpose and a message behind each one of these songs. Like, it wasn't something where it was kind of like I could tell this was all fresh material, right? Like, I could tell there wasn't any point in this where you went back and said, okay, I'm gonna use this or that. Like, no, this was what you had a certain mission, it felt like, for this specific project. And it's nothing short of amazing. The only issue I have is that it's not long enough, but sometimes less is more, as I told you last week. Sometimes less is more. um and I gotta say, like, there were just so many gems dropped in this project. Like, you can't go wrong with this work of art. So, respect to you, because I know you do the music, but I'm sure you have a regular job too. You know, and you know, um, some people would say music is a hobby, but for you, it sounds like music is a way of life. You're a student of the game. We played Honest Picks. You're a student of the game. You studied your craft. And I can honestly say you don't sound like anyone else. Like, you have carved correction. You are carving your own path. And like I said, I hope that even if you don't make the showcase I offered, there will be more. I hope one day you'll drive to a location. Hell, we might even, you never know. Maybe I can get one in Brewster. You know what I'm saying? Get one in Brewster. That ain't that far from you. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
but that's my take on this project. Um, what were some of your thoughts? And we will go song by song, but what was your mindset overall going in when you said, okay, because you said before on Honest Hour you were doing some singles, and then the singles started turning, you knew people wanted a full, like, length kind of piece of work. So what was
yeah.
your mindset when going in to making um this project, and also your cadence with your beats, your production was top notch as well. Phenomenal selection on the production as well.
Yeah, man. Well, first off, thank you for that. The beat selections, man. I gotta contribute that to my homies, Prototype Beats out here in New Haven, Rico Kevorkian out here in New Haven, um, my man Trap Bradshaw that's actually in Queens. Um,
Okay.
like he's we I had to hound him for that beat. But mainly like my focus was my purpose with going into this project was kind of just like to to wake people up, to kind of like just give like a, I should say, a not so gentle reminder that I'm still here making music. Um, like I said, I didn't do a project for a while. I was a part of a couple compilations. Um, but even in those, like I probably had like one or two songs the most, and um, those compilations, those were heard from people that's like beyond Connecticut. So even just hearing them, like, dang, like I wish you had one more song, like, dang, like I wish you would have featured on this. It's kind of like, just giving that people that just not so humble, not so gentle reminder that like, yo, I'm still here, I'm still doing it. So
Absolutely.
kind of like if I could, like, just slap in the face.
Kind of just wake people up.
Yeah, definitely just waking people up.
Yeah, and it, there's not enough of that. I was watching something earlier. I forget who was saying it. It was, I want to say it's the other guy who's with Charlemagne the God on the Breakfast Club. Obviously not the girl. The other guy. I don't know his name.
DJ
Because
Envy.
DJ Envy. There we go. Um, I don't really watch. I don't really like Charlemagne the God, so I don't really watch. But every once in a while, there's a good guest or they're having a good conversation, so I'll tune in. But he was saying, if it were him or whomever it was saying that with hip hop, the reason it's a dying breed is because we've let too many people in. Like, and what I mean when I say that is like I interviewed Big Veg yesterday. He's a big time media correspondent, and him and I were having a deep divulge discussion about hip hop and how easy it is to get in because now all you need is this device we're looking at, whether a tablet, a phone, a computer, and all you can do everything. You could even, if you're real good, you can really even make a beat um from your computer or from your phone and do it all. Like people have used Garage Band, I think it's called.
Yeah,
Um
Garage Band.
and
Yeah,
and by doing that, you have people who aren't good who make music. People like Takashi 69, like little Uzi Vert. Lord, I just had another one on my tongue. Lil Yachty, and like even like people love the Migos, but I'm sorry, they're not good. They're not good. Like, yeah. And they're renowned as one of the greatest groups ever. And I'm like, they're not good though. And so when I hear guys like that make it, like fully make it and make millions of dollars, and people go out to their shows, and then I hear something like what you've put together, and a lot of people don't know who you are. That bothers me.
yeah,
Even when I hear an artist, right, like I just found this female hip hop artist, Shay Nayor, and I found on Instagram it was just a thing of female rappers. I'm like, I've never heard of her. Downloaded her project that came out this year, and I was like, oh my god, like where have I been? Because she's been around for like 8 years, and I'm like that bothers me because as a hip hop head, I want to know everything about everyone I can, and
yeah,
there's always people we'll never know. So definitely want to just if nothing else, yeah, like I say, utilize my platform to, if you get one new listener, that's a victory to me.
Yeah, yeah,
You
exactly.
know. So we're gonna go into the breakdown of these songs. This EP had 6 tracks. It was 15 minutes. Like I the first listen I listened on my way to work. It takes me about 20 minutes to get to work, and I like to unwind. There's the phone. Everyone's asleep or doing whatever, so the phone ain't gonna ring. It's just me and the road. And the first track is Killer,
Yes, sir.
and to me, listening to that song was really like was really like okay, like I felt like you were coming out to make a statement, like meaning, and when I what I mean when I say that is that like you were like, nah, I do this. Like people asked for it, I'm here to deliver what you wanted. And just the way of the flow that went with that beat. It was a little up tempo, a little quick, but like you were able to capture magic within that and tell people like this is who Kellz Turner is. This is what you're gonna get from my productions and my projects. I'm here to show you that I ain't nothing to fuck with. Like if you gonna listen, you're gonna get a story. Some are gonna make you laugh, some are gonna make you cry. But this song was like a roller coaster because you were on some highs, some lows, but it was like welcome to my project.
Yep.
So, what is the meaning or the purpose behind um the opening track?
I mean, without repeating everything you just said, you know what I'm saying? Because that pretty much, like I mean, if I could be transparent, like I'm somebody, and part of it is my own doing. Is like sometimes I hate when I'm not really heard. I not like I hate when I'm not thoroughly heard. Um, so you get times where like I grew up as like a quiet kid. Um, Sometimes too quiet, too damn quiet for my own good, too shy for my own good.
Mhm.
And I think like a lot of times that kind of enables people to kind of like speak for me about certain things, and sometimes people be like way off. Like they'll be like, "Oh, I know, Kells are like that," and it's just like, "Nah, I wouldn't." Um, so I kind of attest Killer to that type of, like that type of attitude where it's like, nah, like let me tell everybody who I am. I don't need nobody else to tell me or speak for me, like who I am or who I like, like not a violent person, but I do got some aggression in me. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna display that. Yeah, I do feel a certain type of way about X, Y, and Z. So I'm gonna say something about that. It's really just displaying that attitude. It's really just displaying that inner attitude, that inner fire that I kind of got in me. That there is a side of me that is kind of just a little aggressive, and I don't really display that side to me too much. This side of me too much. But in recent years, I started to realize like there are benefits for just not being reserved and not being so like kind of just cool, calm, collected all the time, not so chill. Um, let people see that fire in you. Let people see that aggression in you. So it's like, why not put that first? Um, yeah, it was definitely going in the EP anyway. I was it was some back and forth about where that one should go, but it was like there's no other way I need to start this off other than this song right here with this
Mm.
attitude, with this manner. So
Yeah, and when you open up, like the introduction to an album, in my opinion, or an EP, is the most important part because just like just like any sports game, like basketball or football, you want to get out to a quick lead and set the tone for the game. Well, it's the same thing here. You want to set the tone for your album because if the first track it's like flat or it's boring, it's like
Exactly.
like let's be honest, Meek Mill's still living off his intro to Dreams and Nightmares.
I think it's crazy.
Like, especially when that beat changes. Hold on, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished? Like, and those are the things that people remember. So,
Yeah,
like, that is important. And what you did was you not only were able to hold that down, but you were able to convey, you were able to convey a message and really say what you wanted to say and
yeah,
let people know, like, yo, don't talk for me. I'm gonna talk.
yeah.
I'm gonna talk for me.
Exactly. That's really what that was. It's just letting people know who I am. It really wasn't no like extra concept to it other than just me displaying that side of me that just wants to mm, give me the opportunity to say something. Oh yeah, I'm gonna say some shit.
Uh-huh.
You know. So
And you let them know.
yeah, I'm gonna let them know. It ain't gonna
You-
be no. It's gonna be done in a way in which you don't got to second guess. You don't got to second guess. You don't got to wonder. You don't got to. Damn, they're like, did he really mean that? Yeah, no, yeah, I did. Yeah, it's done.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely. And that was a good starting as you transitioned into Duffel Bag 2,
yep.
which to me was really like an under like there was a lot of metaphoric language in it. I felt,
Hmm.
but ultimately, now it was a little. I might miss this point because if there's a duffel bag 2, obviously there's a duffel bag 1,
It's definitely a duffel bag one.
which I haven't heard. So,
What you
so
will.
yes, yes. I just got so infatuated. I should have went back to listen to that, locate that, but I really just if it really felt like now with duffel bag 2, in a sense, when people say duffel bag, they talking about money, right? They talking about money, and it's saying to me in this, maybe the first one hinted at how you're gonna get to the duffel bag, right? This is just synopsis based on this track. But this one, it's like, okay, I'm figuring out how to get the duffel bag. I'm figuring out how to get the money. I'm going to make sure that I do everything in my power to not only secure the bag, obtain the bag, but
Hmm.
keep the bag and keep adding to the bag. And that's, I mean, in a nutshell, because I'd rather you give a little more synopsis than I on this one.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
well, on all of them, but you know what I mean. But that's what I took from the song personally.
yeah, yeah. Duffel bag too. To me, that's like a very like if I could honestly say like if I had like an essential playlist of my songs, like that song has to be like up there. Um, if there's one song that I feel like is of the most important songs on the EP, has got to be that one. Um, because it's well for one, like it's a follow up of Duffel Bag One. Duffel Bag One, I was just talking like some fly shit, and like that was my second single at the time when I dropped it. Like that was the next one after a song I did called DR Frames. So um for one, it's like a testament to my songwriting ability, which I feel like progressed over the time. Two, um, it was also just a way of me kind of flexing my knowledge as far as finances and what it really means to be a part of a team and have bigger goals. Um, and like me being like, hey, like I'm this person. Everybody wants to be the same person within the team. But nah, sometimes we need a cameraman. Sometimes we need somebody in the background with the nice vocals to kind of carry the song. Sometimes like James Brown was the leader of his group for a reason.
Right.
Um, so just me kind of like, hey, like regardless of what team I'm in, this is the person that I am. This is the position that I'm going to play. And not only that, like yo, when we get the bag, in order for us to keep it and to maintain it and to multiply, these are the things that we should really start thinking about. You know what I'm saying? These are the things that we need to start really putting into the foreplay. If we want to make sure we got the bag forever. You know what I'm saying? It's not enough to just have it, but it's like how you utilize it too.
Right. Because people will get a bunch of money and then they'll misuse it. And
Criminally misuse it.
you said what?
Criminally misuse it.
Oh, and bad. Like, if you're gonna come into a bunch of money, the first thing I would do is try and invest into something that's going to continue to make me money.
Exactly.
And I'm okay if you want to go out and you want to buy a car or buy a house or take a vacation. That's your prerogative. But if you're gonna come into some money, do something smart with it. Don't do People do a lot of things with money that depreciate the value over time. Hence a
Yeah.
car, right? A car depreciates each time you put it on the road and put a mile on it. But how now you if you were to go and buy an like you I ugh, if you were to go and buy an apartment complex, okay, that's
Yeah.
different
That's
because
yeah.
now
Now that's
now
appreciating value.
say that again.
I said now that's appreciating value.
Right, because now as long as you stay on top of it, it's only gonna go up from there. you
Exactly.
know so that's just the thing about it is people, it's not that they spend money, it's like you said, they criminally misuse money.
Yeah, they is, and like I hear the songs, and sometimes those songs be low. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm not gonna make it seem as if I hate like what I hear. Um,
Right.
but I'm just offering an alternative. Like offering like these conversations that I have with my cousins, my friends, like just really turning that into music. You
Right.
that's all. Like we talk about that all the time. Like what we gonna do? We get the bread. Like invest it. Buy this, buy stocks. Um, buy stocks, invest in this, buy that. Say like put it into this account, put in the Roth, all that type of stuff, man. We talk about that all the time, and it's like put it in music form so it becomes like hypnotism.
Right. And not for nothing, it's just it's just really, I think another issue is that we as people, especially as black people, weren't taught that stuff, right?
Mhm.
like there was no way to say, okay, do this and this, or put that there, excuse me. So we're in real time really learning how to do these things and how to manage money. And unfortunately, and I think I brought this up on Honest Hour last week when Big Sean dropped an album this year. um and there's a song on there called A Million Pieces, and there's a point where he's talking about, um he says, I used to want to be a millionaire, for a million reasons, but then I found out it comes out with that many leeches that want that many pieces. And then he goes, lawyers, taxes, state taxes, business agents, managers, business managers, fees and damages, and somebody to make sure they're not scamming us. And it's like, damn. It's like really just like, if you don't really know what to do with your money or how to utilize your money, on
Yeah,
top of losing all that money off the bat, because that's gone. You got to pay those people, right? Um, you're gonna lose a lot more.
Yeah, and then also to addition to that, like people don't be. I don't want to say the resources aren't there, but people aren't willing to invest in these resources because it's like it puts them in an uncomfortable position where like they have to, kind of be a student. Um, you
Hmm.
gotta learn. You gotta be able to just seek a mentor. I think for a lot of people in our community, that's an uncomfortable position to be in. Like a lot of people aren't willing to really humble themselves and just be the student or be the pupil, whatever you want to call it. But it's like, hey man, if this is going to take you to the next level, if this is going to take you to where you want to be, sometimes you got to know who your resources are. Sometimes you got to know like this is who I need to reach out to in order to get assistance on X, Y, and Z. Um, and we see it all the time. Like I've seen it with some of my peoples where had it had a resource at their disposal,
Hmm.
just didn't want to be belittled. Um, so kind of just like in a sense burnt their own bridge. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
you know, um, I see it all the time, man. It's just like, man, listen, if teach me how to get the bag, bro. Like I'm in attendance.
Absolutely. Well, that's why, like I always say, like when I tell people everything I dabble in and all the skills I'm learning, all the businesses I try to join, people be like, yo, you're doing too much. I'm like, I'm not, because you can never have too many skills. And that's the key, is having the skills to just survive. I didn't go to college. It wasn't for me. So now I got to figure, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer. I got to figure out an alternative solution, right? So people don't always understand that portion either. They think they have to know everything to get to where they want to go, and that's not true. That's
Nah,
not true.
sometimes yeah, sometimes all it takes is just like a profitable skill. You know what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely.
I think of like cameramen. Like so everybody needs a cameraman. you
Absolutely.
know what I'm saying? Especially if your pictures come out good, you're professional. You're not a weirdo. You come through taking some nice pictures. Make people,
Hmm.
bro. That's a profitable skill right there. That can just do nothing but elevate you.
Absolutely. As a photographer, absolutely.
You
It
know.
can. All you got to do is, like, you just got to know a little bit, like if you just know enough to get the right angles, and know how to edit properly, you can do anything. You can do
Exactly.
it.
Exactly.
So 40 reps.
Let's talk about that one.
Now that one's got the little dot next to it here on Apple Music.
Mm.
That song has a high level of energy. Um,
Mm.
you know, like and it,
Yeah,
I'm just like, you come
yo,
on. And
jack of all trades. I'ma get my heart set it off on these jokers. I'm calling it spade for spade. Valuable for a rival, expect great things. If diamonds are forever, then me, I'm my ace king. Oh, you gotta love it. 7 o'clock and pistol waving, having on the floor, amazing, no loving inside the budget. I put my feelings aside, confronting the nonsense. Cause me and video games got nothing in common. Stop playing with me.
like
Gotta play with
it's just like, you know what I got the feeling of when I heard the beat.
Yeah.
There's
So
another beat. There's another beat I'm thinking of, but I just can't catch it. And it's gonna come to me like in 3 days, and I'm just gonna message you like, there it is. But remember the song "You, Me, Him, and Her" by Jay-Z on the Dynasty?
yeah, yeah.
The fir- the feeling I got when I first heard that on Hot 97, that was the same feeling I got with this song. Like it just, the beat was like up tempo, and you just came in firing. Like, and
Yeah,
to me, like you was just like, yo, you was talking your shit on this song. You was like, yo, don't fuck with me. Like, you know, like I don't play like the video game reference is crazy because it's just like you're like, yo, don't fuck with me. Like, there's no you're gonna get your feelings hurt. Like, something like I may be quiet, but don't fuck with me, or else you gonna know why you shouldn't fuck with me. This song, like I think I played it back in the original listen or the second listen because I played it straight through. But the
yeah,
second listen, that one got a couple replays. I'm like, bro,
yeah.
this song was just up tempo and elite. Like, what's the story on this one?
I mean, 40 reps, man. It's like that was just one. I get into those moments one time, sometimes where, even since the beginning, like I will always have like those challenging moments where I want to see like I just want to test how like how much my pen has grown.
Right.
So every now and then, like I'll find um just like, well, for one, I had that beat for a minute. Um, that was produced by Pro. Shout out to Prototype Beats. I had one of his. I had that beat for him for like, I want to say 2020 21. I just couldn't really catch what to do with it. So I remember last year I was at my boy crib, my best friend crib, Rain. Shout out to him. Um, and I just felt like, nah, I need to, like I did Duffel Bag, I did Never Wake Me Up, I did, Late Night One, Late Night Two, I did Grub, and these songs are cool. Like these are singles that I did, and I love them. But I ain't dropped nothing like where I was spitting for a while.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I ain't dropped nothing like that in a while, and it kind of took me back to like my college days where I felt like that's all I was doing was just writing verses that I was just challenging myself. So I took myself back in that mode. I wrote that verse to another beat, um, to Drake's 6 p.m. in New York. That's why I said, "Oh, you gotta love it." I love that beat. That's one of my favorite Drake songs. So as I'm writing it, I'm just like, nah, like I gotta really just come with it, or just don't write it at all. And I'm listening to it. I'm listening to it. I'm just like, yo, this would go crazy over that beat that I got from Prototype like years ago. That I
Mm.
like I said, I bought it off of him. It was just sitting in my email for a while because I didn't know what to do with it at first. Um, so that was just like a challenge, and really just not wasting no time, man. I get into these moments where it's like like I don't want to waste. I don't want to play around. Um, and also just one of those things where I just don't leave no room for nothing else.
Mm.
Like I really sometimes I get into this mode where I just want to just just fuck some shit up in its totality. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying? Like, I just want to fuck it up in my totality, man. Like and also kind of just make that. Like, I'm glad you brought up the video game reference line because yeah, I try to find slick ways of really being saying things that I genuinely feel. Me and video games got nothing in common. Stop playing with me.
Yeah.
And like like if like when the time calls for it, yeah, like I know how to deliver. So yeah, it's 40 reps, man. It's an attest to that. And also I've been in the gym a lot, lately. I've been in the gym a lot more lately. So, instead of just calling it like 40 bars, 40 reps. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying? Like instead of, it's like treating it like it's a workout, you know what I'm saying? 40 reps, man. 40 push-ups straight, 40 bars straight.
Making it happen. And I think also to that point, I think you maybe if it like I always say song order is important too. And I think that song helped bring up the tempo of the album, right? You
Yeah,
know, it was just fast paced and I love songs like that, you know, when it's fast paced and you just jump right in. Or the artist just jumps right in. There ain't no chorus. There ain't it sounds like the song has no direction, but it has all the direction for that part right there, you know, because you just go in and it's just like, okay. So that's what we're doing.
yeah, exactly. You know, and it don't mean that it don't mean that you might get that all the time. You might it don't mean that you're gonna get something like that on every album, but don't it's just one of those like, hey, just by the way, just so you know, I can, what I'm saying, like I can do that,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
like
And I don't think songs like that are meant for every album though.
exactly. It's you know it's really not, it's really not. But it's definitely there, just like as a stamp, as like a like as just as a reminder, or just like a indication to people, like I said, like I can't do it.
Yeah,
So
you know, and I mean like that song was like a hype, just a hype song. It really, like I said, it really took the up tempo. There we go. No, there we go. Um, it took the up tempo of the project, and it just really brought it to another level because from that going to live for
hmm
um I feel like this was a very purposeful song. I felt like you really like. I feel like there's an underlying story in this song that I'm not grasping. Um,
yeah,
I'm not, you know, obviously I'm going to ask you about it, but I listened even back to it twice, and I'm like, damn, I'm missing the point of the song, you
yeah.
know. But I'm just gonna say what I think is the meaning behind the song, and that's that you're saying no matter what you go through, you need to do something. You have to have something to live for. We all have something to live for or should, right? Um,
Yeah.
so, you know, that's my feeling behind it is that, you need something to live for. You have something to live for. And while you're here on this earth doing that, fulfilling whatever your purpose is, you gotta live for it. But as for the story behind the song, I don't know what that is. I can't grasp it.
Um, man. So, man. So, I mean, live for. That's a it's a very like exposing record. Um, as men, as black men, I should say,
Hmm.
depression, um, trigger warning, suicide, um,
Hmm.
just unhappiness, um, anything that's like synonymous with those things are kind of like very present, I should say. Um, some of us we suffer in silence. Some of us, we choose to say something about it. Um, me personally, um, I battled with depression, but didn't even know I was depressed until like I had to really like look at it in retrospect and really realize like, damn, like I'm in my room, don't want to go out, blinds always closed, always wearing, always, what I'm saying, got my hood up. Um, prefer to be alone. So you going through these things, and I think the scary part is like you like just experiencing this stuff and not really being fully aware. Um, so sorry, man, my fault.
No,
But
you good. Take your time, bro.
yeah, so I mean, it's like it's an uncomfortable place to be, and it's an ugly place to be. Um, but I think when we talk about healing and when we talk about just doing better or just wanting to be better, I feel like it's necessary to kind of bring yourself into that place because it's only going to mean that um it's only going to lead to you being better like as a person. um like I think I said this last time, like I started going through counseling
Yeah.
um like 2020, and I just left counseling today. I just did it today.
Shout
um
out to that.
yeah, man. And I've learned some hard lessons that were so motherfucking like just it was so tough to face head on. Um, one of man, it's just it's Live For is it like it's a very very vulnerable record, man. It's a very very it was one of those things where honestly I didn't want that to go on the tape, um, because I was kind of like in this place where do I really want people to understand who I am that deeply? And it was just sitting down with the team, and it was just like, yo, bro, like you might have to put this up there because it's deep. It's gonna relate to people. You're not the only one that's going through this. You saying some real shit. You can't afford to not put this up there. If you
Right.
want to relate to people, you need to put this up there. Um, and like I could just say, like even when I was writing it, I was just like, like, and I'm just gonna go full throttle with it. I'm just gonna be like a 1,000% honest. Like I'm not gonna fabricate it. That was the main thing, was just making sure that I'm not fabricating nothing just for the sake of it sounding good. Like everything in that, like I genuinely felt or I genuinely experienced. And um, I only know how to be honest. I only know how to be real. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like I only know how to be real, man. So it was just me just like opening up, being vulnerable, expressing things that I probably wouldn't express. And yeah, man, like I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I did it.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you sharing that. As a man who also suffers from depression, anxiety, one day I plan on us meeting and hanging out, in the flesh. Whether I come there or you come here, or we meet in the middle, even if we meet for lunch or something. I think Brewster's kind of that halfway point, maybe a little bit past.
Hmm.
I'm a funny guy. I like to tell jokes. I like to make people laugh. Um, that's just my demeanor of who I am. I try to find the humor in everything and in things that aren't funny. It's like a defense mechanism. Like even with death, I have a hard time processing death, right?
Same.
Uh, so and it really like even my grandmother died on Halloween when I was 7. It still irks me.
Mm.
Um, and I'm almost 30 years. I'm 36 now. Um,
My condolences.
appreciate it. Appreciate it. My best friend died in 2020. Have not processed it. It's almost been 5 years in January. Um, it's just like it's real difficult to do. And I've had, trouble with transparency about it. I've
Yeah.
had trouble with admitting that I need help, or well, not that I need the help, but going and actually getting it. Um, it's just it's not an easy thing to come out about and say or deal with, and it's like
Yeah.
kind of weird that There's this DJ in this area. His name's Tommy. Tommy Did It is his stage name.
Mhm.
And one of my friends reached out to me. Her name's Kyra. Um, she lives in Waterbury, Connecticut. But she's from this area. Um, and she was like, "Do you know Tommy?" And I'm like, "No." So she's like, "Yeah." She goes, he posted a video about black men depression and anxiety. You should check it out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right. So I check it out. It's like 10 minutes. And he's sitting on a bench. I think he said he was in Yonkers. And he's just talking about depression and anxiety and just going through it and just he was just DJing was starting to take off and he just didn't want to do nothing, canceling events, um, like day of saying I'm not coming. We're, refunding them their deposits for not coming. And he came on this show. We talked about everything, like his stuff and then the depression. And I think it's real difficult to be vulnerable. But as an artist, you have to, your team probably wanted you to show as many sides of yourself possible.
Yeah, I think no, that's absolutely true. I think in addition to that, I think the reason why it's a challenge for us because we got to be. This is just my honest opinion. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, it's one of those things where you got to be mindful about like in what spaces you venting in. Some people will say, "Oh, because people will use it against you," which is true.
True.
But I think even more, like I think what's more detrimental than that is when like it turns into like a venting space, but there's no real like solution to it. Um, Not saying everything has to be solution based, but it's like, hey, we just sitting around like talking about our problems all day, then like what did we like? What's going on? What's taking place? Um, I've learned to be mindful of that because it's like, hey, like like I'm not really. You don't want to trauma bond with people. That could make the problems because now you already overloaded with your problems, but now you're taking on somebody else's because you might be empathetic and it might be two of your bros and all three of y'all talking about your problems all day, but now you feel overloaded with them because like those your bros, you feel where they coming from. So it's like, damn, like I'm going through this, but like they going through it too. So I want to make sure I'm there for them. And it's not to say that it's a bad thing, but you just don't want to do too much of it. Like I learned that doing too much of it, it's like it could just be overwhelming. Like I don't talk about my traumas just to champion the struggles that I've been through. I
Right.
talk I talk about the stuff that I've been through for one, just for the sake of okay, letting like just acknowledging that hey, I did go through these things. Um, but in the grand scheme of it all, like I want to be able to grow from that. I want to be able to like identify like, hey, I have a problem. Like I have a problem with depending on people asking for help. I know where it came from. But I don't want to.
Mhm.
I don't want to champion that all my life. So it's like, hey, like how do I work through that? How do I work through depending on people or being able to trust somebody else? Like when I ask them for help, or just like going out and asking for help. Like I don't want to sit around and talk about like all the bad times that people don't fuck me over and all this other shit. Cause it's like, damn, like we could talk about that all day, every day, and it's gonna multiply when you get some liquor involved. So
Uh-huh.
so it's like it's just changing in direction. Like we don't got to sit around and vent all the time. Um, we could talk about like how we plan to get better, or it could just something as being a simple check in, like, yo, how you doing today? How you been? You straight? You good? How was your day? How was work? Stuff like that. Like that. I don't think people kind of just overlook. Like somebody reached out to me yesterday. It was just like, yo, bro, you don't gotta go through that alone. You can get a bottle, come up, chill with us.
Mhm.
It's like I get that, but I don't want to do that because me grabbing the bottle while I'm in that state is only gonna make it worse. Um,
Right.
it's only gonna make it worse. So, I mean, I might talk to you after, but I'm gonna go see my counselor first, talk to her about it, and see if I could figure out some solution. And once I get to a place where I'm actually working through it, and I found like, all right, this is what I need to do to get into this place to from battling this, then maybe I could call bro again and be like, yeah, you know, I went through this, but this is how I got through it.
Right. When you, I'm a big fan of Big Sean. Um, and my old beef with him is he takes too many hiatuses. But coming back from this out to this album, he released a video on clarity. It's
Hmm.
about 5 minutes. I'll try, if you haven't seen it, I'll try and find it and send it to you. It's really him just talking about having clarity. And I bring up that word because when you drink and your mind isn't clear already, it creates more clout and it creates more bad judgment and bad decisions. Even
Yeah,
if you're not drunk, just the influence of the drinking creates reasonable doubt for yourself.
real talk.
And I just think that he's looking out, but the bottle's not necessary.
Yeah,
We as people sometimes just don't know where to turn, and it's all about just finding clarity and finding a clear state of mind within yourself before you go out and try and do this, that, and that. And I feel for that because I'm one of those people who everyone likes to talk to. And I listen to anybody. Like I'd rather, like I understand what you're saying, right? With the whole you don't want to take on people's stuff. My only fear is if I listen, I'm like, listen, bro, I can't talk. I got this, and this. What if that's the last time he felt that way? And because I didn't talk to him and he felt he had no one to talk to, that friend kills himself that night.
I understand. I understand. Um, I think the thing about it is, like I said before, you just don't want to do it too much. Where
Right,
it's not, you don't want to do it too much where it's not like effectively being reciprocated. Like,
right,
I don't need somebody to check on me all the time when when I'm only going through bad stuff. But some like I said before, sometimes like a simple call can change, can change that. Um, I don't want it to make it seem as if like I don't disregard people, but sometimes like I think sometimes we're being honest, like sometimes we gotta be honest with ourselves and say like, yo, like maybe just like I hear you, I would love to do this right now, but like I'm just mentally not in a place where I can. Um, I think it's a matter of just being honest because some people, and this is the shitty part about it, some people might not even have a regard of what you're going through. You know,
hmm
they just want to call you and they just want to talk about what you're going through, what you're going through, what you're going through. And it's just like, well, damn, like I just, you know what I'm saying? Like I just lost my man's, you know what I'm saying? I just lost my grandfather. I just lost somebody. Like, damn, you ain't even, like, are you? It's really just about like just making sure that we properly checking in with each other before like you allow that person within that space.
Oh,
Like
before it gets to that point.
yeah, it's just more so like, hey, is this somebody that I can vent to? Like, there's some people that I don't vent to, but then like I said, there's some people that I could go to and I talk to because I know like for one, it's reciprocated, you know. Two, it's just like they genuinely care. Um, and they know I do the same for them,
Absolutely.
like I had to learn to be like, yo, I can't be everybody's safe space. I'm a walk-in safe space, but I can't be everybody's safe space.
Right.
You know, you can't be everybody's safe space because it can be overwhelming, and then it's just like you look around, it's like, yeah, you looked out for 20 of those people, but you look out for 20 people, but how many of those 20 actually will give you the space to vent, or not even the vent, but just like, hey, like if I'm calling just to say what's up, like who's actually gonna pick up? You know, like when your birthday come around, who actually wants to be a part and celebrate?
Right.
Versus like always inviting you out for theirs. Like, you know, like damn, when May 25th come around, like who actually wants to be, because they know that's my day. That's the only day in the world that I have. That's the day that I was born.
Yeah.
You feel me? So who wants to be around?
Absolutely.
Who wants to be around on May 25th? Because when January 1st come and February 2nd or March 3rd or April 4th come, like I'm around for y'all, but like can y'all be around for me too? You know,
Yeah.
I don't think that's too much to ask. And I don't think that it's detrimental to not be everybody's safe space. You know, you kind of gotta have like those boundaries, so that way you got your own space to like release. And yeah, man, you know, just I get it. You a Gemini like me too, right? You a Gemini too.
Yeah, my birthday 6 days after yours, May 31st.
So we both made Geminis. So
Absolutely.
feel me. So like we got good vibes where people feel like where people want to do that around us, which is cool, which is honorable. You know, like I'm humbled by that every single day. Like I'm humbled that people trust me and feel that comfortable around me.
Absolutely.
However, you know what I'm saying? However, on the flip side, it's just like, listen, like as much as I would love to, I just can't do that for everybody. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that for everybody. Like so, like I go through my own stuff. So I can't allow that space, because once you allow all that like you allow all that, then people gonna expect it every single time.
Right. You know, you give them your hand, they take your arm.
With the fingers. You know?
The whole thing. Like, and it's not to be spiteful or they do it on purpose, but like, just one hand should wash the other. You
All the
know,
time.
like me as a person, I don't ask for much. I don't need for much, honestly. I try to be as outgoing and giving as I can. And and sometimes it's just you just can't do those things. Like you said, you have you have to really take care of you. Like I always tell people that I tell even parents that they'd be like, oh, other parents be like, I gotta take care of my kids and take care of my kids. I'm like, okay, so you gotta take care of your kids, but you got a broken arm that you haven't gotten looked at, or
Yeah,
you've had this cold, you've been sick as a dog for a month, you haven't gone. So like,
you
if
gotta
you can't,
you gotta take care of yourself first, man. You can't take care of nobody else if you're not straight.
listen, and that's what I tell people: take care of you. If you don't, you're screwed.
Yep. You never you there's no way. You can't take care of nobody else if you're not straight.
No, not at all. Whew, man. Live for took us down a rabbit hole of a therapy session. I like it though. I
Yeah,
like
man.
that. That's what this show's about, man.
Yeah,
That's
man.
what this show's about. It's just really about breaking down these songs and opening up open forum for conversation. I like it. I like it. Track 5, Resurrect.
Yes,
Man,
sir.
that was another one that really just after Live for. I just like I said, song placement. I felt like this song, you really talking about the resurrection of you as an individual.
Yep.
Uh, just really just like all right, how can I put this? We have to reinvent ourselves, right? And every we change and we change in different ways. Our interests change over time, our taste buds change over time, our energy changes, the types of people our friends change. Sometimes you grow apart. I have friends I was like this with in high school. Now I can't even get them on the phone.
Yep.
everything changes. So I felt like Resurrect was important because you weren't just talking about resurrecting of like music or resurrecting of life. You're talking about resurrecting you as an individual because you've changed forms. Like it's like a form. It's very, it's very what's the word for? Uh, it's very demanding to stay in one space, right?
Yeah,
You have to change, and I just felt like Resurrect was you talking about resurrecting yourself in life, and in a sense as an artist as well.
yeah, man. I mean, definitely as an artist, but more so as a person. The time that I wrote that song, um, man, very very dark. Button heads with family members. More specifically, my mom at the time. We're better now. Um,
Glad to
and
hear
also,
that.
yeah, we're way better. And I also got I lost two jobs in a matter of like 2 months, man.
Jesus, it's
Yeah,
tough.
yeah, and it's like not really, and it was just more so. It wasn't like I wasn't doing my job. It was just more so like they didn't really give me the chance to really showcase like what I really can do.
Right,
I'm somebody that if you bring me a part of like if you put me a part of a team, you make me responsible for something. I'm gonna put a lot of pride into what I do. Show me what I got to do, and I'm gonna do it. And like I lost these jobs in like very very short time. Wasn't given no heads up. Um, no heads up, so it kind of just put me in like these positions where it's just like, damn, man, like should I even really be in this field? That's why I said in the song, like I've been exiled, niggas try to snatch my opportunities, never communicated really, and what that do to me is put my back against the wall, more pressure, just elevating. I don't resort to low measures. It was like, like I like wholeheartedly, like I didn't know the day before I got fired, I was getting fired. What I'm saying? I woke up to the news. Like one job even let me work a full day and then told me like when I got back in my side of town that
wow,
what I'm saying? Like literally, they didn't even have the decency to call me. They called the temp agency that I got the job through to tell me. You know what I mean? So
wow.
yeah, so it was just like, going through all that, man, it's like it just puts you in a place where it's just like fuck everybody. But I just know as me as a person, like I just refuse to stay in those dark places because I know what it could lead to. Um
Right,
so resurrect, it was like definitely a testament to, hey, you know what? Like I'm down right now, but it's definitely not gonna be like this moment, like it's definitely not gonna be forever. Like I'm gonna have my comeback, I'm gonna have my resurgence, like I'm definitely gonna have my moment where everything that I'm going through leads me into this spot, which is way better, just what I'm saying, not staying down, you know what I mean? Like just really, really not staying down. Like I refuse. I refuse to stay down. Like I refuse to be a victim of my circumstances, Like I refuse to be a product of my like negative experiences. Like we all go through our bullshit, but nah, not me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not about to be Kellz is not about to be defined through the bullshit he went through.
right.
It might shape me, but it's not going to define me.
As it should.
So yeah, man, Resurrect was like what you described. Musically, yes, but more so like personally, just addressing it. Like, I got fired from two jobs in a matter of 2 months. You know what I'm saying? So for the whole month of February, jobless. Did you know what I mean? I found another job in March. I should have known it was a red flag because they didn't even want to interview me. They just wanted me to start. And
Oh, that's
then
weird.
yeah, it's hella weird. And then for the whole month of April, jobless. You know what I'm saying? Granted, I found something before my birthday, but it was just like, yo, those 2 months, man, was just, like it was just,
Right. And then it becomes a burden because, we're living in a day and age where it's hard to save money. Um,
super challenging.
and especially if you're single or single with child, right? Like it's me and my wife, and it's like hard. It's like impossible to save any money, which is why it's just outletting. So if you had nothing saved, 2 months, that can cost, that's 2 weeks can cost you everything. Like
Just assed out with your ass out. Like,
literally trying
like,
to figure out any way to get anything to come in. And these jobs and these companies, they're just cut, cut, cut. They don't care. They don't care about the people. They don't care about their workers. It's just cut, cut, cut. Like my job, we just renewed our union contract. They was trying to give us 80 cents for a raise. They wanted to what else was it? They wanted to give us they want us to pay into our medical.
nah, just a bunch of, you know what I mean? Just a bunch of, you know what it is. You
Yeah.
know what it is.
Yeah, y'all made, and then you tell us you made $33 million last year, and then but you can't give us a $2 raise. Come on, come on.
Yeah, so that's, yeah, resurrect, man. It's just acknowledging that those tough times are there, but we don't stay down in those tough times, man. We don't. That's not what we do. That's not what we shouldn't do. Um, and yeah, man, it's a tough place to be in, but at some point, like if you just keep fighting, just keep being determined, things are gonna get better. I had to really make a routine during those times. Like I really wake up, open my laptop, and just been like sometimes I applied to jobs like 5 times.
Yeah,
I probably like I was just up applying to jobs, applying to jobs, applying to jobs. Wake up, eat breakfast, apply to jobs all day. At some point during the day, go to the gym. You know what I'm saying? But as I it was just maintaining that routine, like not really just like, all right, I'm out of work, so I'm just about to do nothing. Nah, fuck that. I'm a
no,
yeah. I mean, we Geminis, we uncomfortable when we got nothing to do.
right, right, and like me, I like to chill out. I like to relax, but if I ain't working, I'm going nuts.
Yeah, like yeah,
Like like I'm going nuts. Like during COVID, I mean, listen, I don't know what Connecticut's policies were, but here, here it was like they was giving us in New York another 600. I was making more money sitting at home. I was mad as hell when I had to go back to work. I was like, yo, man. And then I'm like, yo, just lay me off until it's summertime. I was working at Coke at the time. So, soda industry, summertime is where it's at. Like,
I already know.
April, like September, and then like once you get to Thanksgiving and Christmas, it's pretty busy. And in January it's dead.
Yep,
So the last song on this EP was Take the Bread.
take the bread, man.
Take the Bread.
Yes, sir.
Which it kind of to me raps with Duffel Bag too.
Mm.
Um
How so?
because um I feel like when you talk bread to me is money, right? So to me it's like take what's yours, and it's not even so much just money, but not even just monetary. It's just bread in this case could be anything, because in duffel bag too you talk about taking money, but in this it's like you're taking money, but on top of that, whatever else is yours, the world is your vessel, right? Like that's what I've always heard. It's our vessel. we can do anything we put our mind to.
Yeah.
And for this song, like I said at first, I compare it to money, but now as I'm talking to you about it, it sounds like there's other underlying things in there that you're talking about taking. Um, because that's not just money. That's like I said, you want that job, you take it. You want to get to that concert, you take it. You want to you want to be CEO, you take it. Like just take whatever the world affords you to take.
Yeah, it's that, and it's more so like it's more so just like just we in the day and age where the art of being able to think for yourself. I don't even want to say the art, but just being able to think for yourself has been it's such a lost art. Um, you know, I feel like a lot of people are swayed by what's the popular opinion that they see on social media. Um, a lot of times, like in any debate, like I kind of addressed the whole dinner with Jay or 500K. Like, which one would you prefer? And I've seen like so many people, man, just that I know for a fact are Jay Z heads say that they would take like, I'm gonna go have lunch with Jay Z, like you know what I'm saying, he gonna drop so many gems. And instantly that kind of pissed me off because it's like if you really listen to Jay Z's catalog, you would know what to do with the 500K. Dinner with like listening to Jay Z CD is the same thing as listen is having dinner with him. So I personally, I ain't gonna lie, I was pissed off about that because it's like, how many of us have had 500K in our hand at one time, not as a salary, but as like, at the moment, like in a duffel bag dropped off to you. Not
Right.
not many of us. So to me, I feel like that should have been a no brainer, but people were really taking it to a further extent of really trying to like, oh nah, this is something we need to talk about, or this is what's wrong with people in the community. They don't want to listen when people have gyms, and it's just like, well, nah, listen. From reasonable doubt to 444, we got like I'm gonna get a little aggressive, so pardon me.
Go
So
for it.
so Pete Game, right? Jay Z is probably like one of the goats. You know what I'm saying? Like he's one of the goats, if not the goat. Um, right? So why is that? It's because of his content. It's because of his game that he be spitting in his music. Consistency and just like he has a way of like keeping himself kind of in the upper echelon of like lyricism. You know what I'm saying? He has a way of doing it.
Absolutely.
So for somebody that's a hip hop head that really listens to Jay Z, you might not catch all of the gems that he dropped, but you're gonna catch some of them.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You might not catch every single one, but you bound to catch a handful of them. So it's like if you really listen to everything that he's saying and like in his music, you would kind of have a sense of what to do with the bread. Um, you know what I mean? Like I don't really understand like what was the whole thing, and then it just really kind of made me think like, yo, like motherfuckers really don't be listening to music sometimes. Like I feel like nowadays like people don't really be fans of these artists, they be just fans of that business moves, which is fine. Like that's
Right.
fine, that's cool. Like it's nothing. If you're a fan of that, you're a fan of that. But you gotta understand like being the difference between an artist and being a fan of the artist versus being a fan of the man.
Mm.
Like kind of like with not to bring I'm gonna tie it back, but kind of like with the Drake and Kendrick Lamar situation. There's a
Right.
lot there's a lot of people, regardless of like even though Drake took a L, they'll find some way to say like how he kind of still came up on top when clearly Kendrick kind of swept him. You know what I'm saying? So it start when you start talking to people, you just start really realizing like, yo, you're not even a fan of the music to where like you can just call things for spade a spade. Like Jay Z, bringing it back. Jay Z, he's not in my top five, but like before we start talking about this, I called him one of the goats, right? So
Absolutely.
you don't have to be like you don't have to favor somebody in order to really acknowledge like what they contribute.
Absolutely.
You know, like I acknowledge the brilliantness in his rhymes. You know what I'm saying? Like I listen. I'll be lying if I'm sit over. I'd be lying if I sit over and say like when he said on Blueprint, what he said, change is cool to cop, but more important is lawyer fees. It's like that's $500,000 worth of game right there.
Right there in that one bar.
In that one bar, like I don't need to have a conversation with Jay-Z to know what I should, you know, like to I don't need to have a conversation with him to see what type of game he's been giving this game consistently since 1996.
And
You know what I'm
even
saying?
absolutely. And even when if you did you watch that interview he had kind of with Gail King when they were going through that exhibit of him, I think it's in Brooklyn. They
I think
did
so.
like and there was a point where she said, would you take $500,000 or dinner with you? He goes, man, take the money. He
That's
goes,
why
I'll get,
that's why I sampled it at the end.
yeah,
That's why I
yeah,
sampled
oh yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And
that's why I sampled it at the end because it's like I wanted to further validate like yo, it's like even Jay-Z said like he would take the money. So it's like why like you know like I don't like I just really I really wanted to stress the fact that it's okay to have your own opinion and it's okay to be able to think for yourself. Yes, between $500,000 with $500,000 versus having dinner with Jay Z. Yes, having dinner with Jay Z might be the favorable option because you get to, like, okay, cool. You get to say you had to you take a picture. You might get a couple hundred likes or a couple thousand likes saying that you, oh snap, you lit. You took a picture with Jay Z, but you losing out on $500,000 worth of money.
which you could turn into more money if you invest it or do the right thing with it. But he
If you
also,
yeah, if you take the blueprint, which he did because he doesn't have $500,000 plenty of times in his life, he got it right now. So if you
oh
really, if you took the money, if you did the money and applied what he did, or not even just him, what Master P did or Russell Simmons did, if you had it, then I feel like that'd be a better use, you know. So that's really what take the bread. Like take the bread is just like me stressing the fact that you know, regardless of what, I'm gonna think for myself, and even if it means going against the grain, or I'm gonna go against the grain, but I'm gonna tell you why I'm going against the grain. You know,
absolutely,
dinner, like I said, dinner with Jay, 500K. I'm gonna take the bread. Make sure that the money works for me so I can stay ahead. Skim it, the music really turn into the saddest song. Because if you chose a dinner, I know you ain't picked the catalog.
mm. And that's what the blueprint's about. The blueprint itself, and it's just like people always gonna go with the popular thing. Instead of, and people don't like to be challenged. You know,
Yeah,
like the only and just one point on the Kendrick Drake comparison. The only way I could say in good faith that Drake won, in a sense, like he didn't win, right? But
yeah.
there were portions where he did win.
Mhm.
Was you look at it, Kendrick Lamar hasn't dropped an album in what? Mr. Morale Big Steppers came out 2022. That's
Yeah, like
2 years.
yeah,
2 years that he hasn't dropped anything. Well, much like the Control verse, he was on a hiatus and then he dissed everyone. Kendrick's in the headlines. You decided to go on this song, this Future and Metro Boomin song, and you start talking again. Well, now you're in the headlines. Then you and Drake are on one day in May, just living in the studio, literally making diss songs about each other. Um, and I think the 2 points Drake got was one, he put out there that he had a kid that doesn't exist, and Kendrick made a song about this kid that didn't exist. I thought that was hysterical. But you look at all the mainstream and attention this got from Kendrick Lamar. Look at all the Grammys he's won, or he's nominated for that song, Not Like Us, or whatever it's called, right? And you
not
just
like
look at all the money he's made, regardless of how you look at it. all that was made on the back of Drake. So sure, Kendrick won, but what I am saying is that, in a sense, and mentally, for Drake, he's probably like, "You won, bro. That's cool, but you needed me to do it in this situation."
Another interview.
Right,
Another interview. I ain't gonna get to going on that one. But I hear you though. I hear exactly what you're saying.
right. I'm not saying Drake won by any means, right? I'm just saying there were points where things were favorable for him to look good.
Yeah,
But Kendrick's gonna win awards for this song. We know that. Do I agree with it? No. I don't even agree that it's a top 10 diss track. And many people believe it's the greatest ever. I'm like, bro, no, we're not doing this. One of my friends wanted to argue it. I'm like, we're not doing this, bro. He's like, yeah, we got to talk about it. We're not talking about it. This isn't a debate. It's kind of like the whole for me, like Michael Jackson. He's the greatest ever. No artist will ever come close to me. It's not a debate. It's not an argument. I don't even talk about it. If you want to say Prince, I'm cool with that. That's
yeah,
acceptable. Hell, if you even want to say the Beatles, I will live with that, just based off of their premise of music, right? 20
yeah.
number one albums. But no, no. So, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, no, I hear where you're coming from. It's all about perspective, you know. It's all about perspective, you know, just not really so much being swayed by like what you see on social media. Um, being able to think for yourself. It's a lost art, man. It's a beautiful thing too when you're able to, just have, and even then, just have a difference of opinion and just like be able to sit down and have a thorough conversation about it. Like, hey, why would you take the dinner with Jay? Okay, like, oh, okay, well, yeah, I want to hear why would you take the 500K? I think that also got lost in the sauce too, where just because like people were literally butt heads just because you don't feel the same or you don't like have the same opinion that they do, and you don't need a butt heads just because we got different opinions. Like me and you feel differently right now, but as you can see, I didn't attack you for what you just said.
Right.
Like,
And that's just it. Like, we can have the problem with society is people don't want to have a difference of opinion. If we all thought the same, this life would be very boring, right?
very,
Um,
very,
like we can. I've seen this repeatedly, especially after the election. We can disagree and be friends. Like, I've learned with certain like Trump supporters that we're not going to talk about the country. There are certain things that Trump has said about black people that I don't like. So, and these people who are telling me I shouldn't feel that way aren't black. Like, no, go fuck yourself. You can't tell me how I feel because you're not fucking black.
real talk.
Like, like you have no basis. You don't see me telling you how to feel about your race. Don't tell me how I should feel within mine. That's all.
Exactly.
That's all.
Yeah,
That,
yeah. Effective conversation. Yeah. Essentially, that's what take the bread is, man. Just let's have it like think for yourself. Let's have like a real like let's have a conversation. And I wanted to kind of leave people with that note of things. To where it's just like, like I understand what you're saying. Like I kind of want to hear what more you have to say.
right. And I think you left that everlasting impression. Because for me, like I said last week, volume one insinuates there's volume two and maybe even a trilogy. Um,
Maybe.
but but it's always good to see artists putting in the work. I'm glad that we were able to connect again. I'm gonna inbox you my phone number, bro. we gotta link and make that happen for sure.
Yeah, man, for
We got
sure.
to make that happen. You know, and I hope one day you can make it to a showcase. That'd be dope too. Because like I said, the world needs to hear you. You're one of those artists that can really just move people. I think with your lyrics, and I think that now it's just like I said, everything I'm doing now is to help artists branch. The guy I interviewed yesterday, Big Veg, was like, I could say you want to do things for the right reasons. I don't want to get over on anybody. I'm trying to get to the bag like everyone else.
Exactly.
So if I can offer something to artists, like I said, like this thing I got, the artists don't pay nothing, right? So if I can offer something to the artist, this is, and people, the right eyes see that artist, you or whoever, it's a win for me. You know, that's a win.
Yeah,
So
man. Nah, I appreciate that, and it's not the first time I heard that. I think now in recent years I really started to take that into account. It's something that I learned is like I said this before. Like if you, it's a quote. I forgot who said it, but like when you're great, you don't have to tell people. Like other people will say it for you. Um, and I'm really starting to believe that. Like I said before, do I really am I the greatest rapper of all time? Shit, time in due time I will be one of them for sure. Yeah, like I think highly of what I spit. I think highly of what I put out there. And now that I come across people that tell me without me even having to ask, um, it's like heard you. It's like validating, very very,
absolutely,
you know, like
absolutely. You just gotta keep doing it, and you're gonna get greater and greater, and the work you're gonna get is gonna get better and better. Because I'm gonna tell you, like the artist I sent you, the guy I know, Osmond, right? Now he's been doing music since we were in like high school, and we graduated like 2007, and he's always improved. But right now, like since like 2020 to like now, he's just really found his groove. Like like artists will have their artistry, but once they find that groove, like they're like unstoppable.
yeah,
That's and I can see for you that already, and that you're in it. You're in it. You're just on the brink of just having that real great groove. And I mean, and I hear it, even like I was going back listening to some of the freestyles, and just your beat selection, and just really what you're talking about. It's really just within that realm of just that groove that you're in. And just sharpening, keeping your pen sharp, as you say. You
yeah,
know, because it's not, rap is not easy for a multitude of reasons. One being just to do it in itself, right, in its element. It's not easy. It's not, making sure you're matching your beat with your lyrics and your cadence, and when to come in, when to go out, things of that nature. But also, over the years, so many people have rapped and have said things like, how do you not say something, or steal a bar, or finding ways to be creative. It's not easy.
yeah. It's not easy. It's a sport. It's a mechanism. It's a sport. It's a mechanism. It's a reflex. Um, and it's just like you just gotta have it. And I think it took me time to realize like, yo, I really got it. Um, it doesn't like I said, it doesn't mean I'm gonna be on every single radio station spitting bars for all day long for 20 minutes. You might get a good, you might get a clean 16 out of me here and there. Um, but I think my sole purpose is like being able to contribute. Like I had, like you said earlier, like I have stuff that I want to say. So I'm very particular about the way like I present myself out there. Um, so that
Absolutely.
the message, so that way the message doesn't get construed. You ever had a situation where you saying something serious and somebody laugh?
Yeah,
Yeah, like it's just to me, it's like, nah, I'm not telling a joke right now. I'm being for real. So that's kind of like the attitude I have when, when I make music, when I put stuff out there. Like, yeah, I'm might sound funny, but I ain't trying to be funny. I'm being dead ass serious.
absolutely. And you're serious about it. And one other thing I want to say is, or I want to ask you is, I actually have been in talks with iHeartRadio.
Hmm.
One of the things that I'm going to do is I plan on doing some like I give people, it's weird. People are weird, right? They'll do anything to push forward. And then when you kind of have something that kind of like, I don't know. We're all different, each its own. But my idea is to take a lot of artists and create a raffle. I'm going to select a few artists to come down to iHeartRadio. We'll do a little interview. Artists will bring a song, and the song will go into iHeartRadio's rotation. Um, I don't know, I just want to offer that to you if that's something you might be interested in down the road. It's probably going to be somewhere in quarter one of next year. Just have to iron out everything and figure out how I'm going to do it.
Let me know when.
Yeah. All right. All right. We'll do. We'll do. I appreciate you taking the time to come on here, and chop it up about this project. If anyone watching or watching this back, please check that out. Kellz Turner, it's spelled just like it's here. You know,
Yes,
check it out. It's a dope project, dope vibe. If you love hip hop, you love rap music, you love lyrics, this is one of the projects for you.
exactly.
And if anyone wants to find you, just give them that social media one more time.
Absolutely, man. Find me on IG at KELLZ TURNER It's two pages out there. Disregard one of them. Kellz Turner underscore KELLZ TURNER Follow your boy, what I'm saying, on IG. You can find me on Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, YouTube, Kellz Turner. What I'm saying? I'm not too hard to find. I'm a dark skinned nigga. What I'm saying? Like, not too hard to find, man. So tap in, man. I promise you won't regret it. You follow me, I follow back. I'm never gonna be Hollywood. Wasn't raised that way. Never gonna be that way. I'm a real, genuine, authentic, down to earth person. But me and video games got nothing in common, so don't play with me.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
bro, we'll be in touch for sure. You have a good night. I thank you for coming on again. Always, always, and definitely, we're gonna have link up at some point. I'll let you know about all the music stuff, and we'll definitely have more interviews down the road. Uh,
For sure.
I'm even hoping for an in-person one day. I
Listen,
see,
man. Like,
I
like I said,
see it.
call me, man. Call me.
I see it. I'm envisioning it. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. This is episode 2 of Mike's Music Corner. I don't know when the next one will be, but it'll be actually no. One's coming in December. But yeah, one's coming in December. So, but be on the lookout for that, and be on the lookout for me tomorrow. I'll be back again with Honest Hour with my guy Jag. Everyone have a good night, and we'll see you soon. Peace.